Hello, welcome to Five Things Friday, an impromptu event, if that's such a word. I'm joined by my fantastic co-host, Simone, who you'll meet after our fabulous intro. Simone, hello.
Hi,
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, really good. Back in the UK before some more travel, which I don't mind boasting about. I'm off to Riyadh on Sunday. Really excited. I'm still clapping. And we're going to be looking at the future of luxury in Riyadh. And so I look forward to bringing all of that beautiful luxury retail and actually more about, I'm going to a lot of the cultural heritage sites as well. It's a tour that I'm being taken on, full disclosure, and I'll share full details next week. But so I'm super excited about that. How was your week?
I'm very jealous. Very jealous. My week has been busy, a week of events.
I saw you. What was the event that was on LinkedIn? I saw you giving free merch to people.
Oh, last night's event. We did a fun event with one of our shop partners and a wonderful community, the women in product community, and we did a styling event on the new rules of power dressing, which I thoroughly enjoyed. Loved it.
That's really cool. Well, listen, for those who don't know, maybe this is the first time you're tuning in to us. My name's Alex. I help businesses that sell to retailers maintain their thought leadership. I go to 15 events throughout the year, look at all the wonderful insights that people and retailers are talking about. The last event being NRF in Paris, which had some cracking talks. Still needs to improve. It's not where it needs to be, but it was a good event, and I bring that all to my customers. Simone, what do you do?
I am the co-founder and CEO of Need It for Tonight, also known as NIFT. I always say easiest way to describe us is kind of like Deliveroo for quality fashion. So I work with lots of brands and retailers to help them with 90-minute delivery.
Yeah, I've actually not asked you this. The people who are delivering are not cyclists, Deliveroo cyclists.
They're not Deliveroo cyclists. I always like to emphasize this. The dress will
not there's anything wrong with Deliveroo cyclists, but you're not, it's not a Deliveroo type experience.
No, it's not going to turn up with a kebab. It's not going to turn up smelling of McDonald's. They are on bikes.
Put it in the back.
It's not going to turn up with a McDonald's.
Okay, fantastic. Well, listen, why don't we start with you? What's top of mind this week?
Oh, lots. I think one of the big talking points of this week has been the launch of the Shein pop-up on Oxford campus. I also like to think, is it Shein or Shine? I think it's Shein.
I'll go with
call it Shine, but I'm going to call it Shein. But it's caused a bit of uproar. Shein, as we know, is the biggest fast fashion brand in the world, and I think has been one of the most heavily criticized, especially when it comes to ethics, mass overproduction, environmental impact. So I think seeing them pop up in a space that's traditionally been about independent brands and discovery and curated storytelling, I think has caused a bit of backlash. And I have to admit, it does feel off. I think for me, that's what pop-ups are meant to be about. They're about to be giving smaller, interesting, kind of creative brands a platform, not just about shifting product, telling a story, which we've harped on about. People are probably sick of us talking about that.
Look, Shein, I did an event in Chicago with them, and yeah, it's a big hairy monster, because it means it does get people's backs up in some parts of the world, and in other parts of the world they're like, that's my way of shopping. I love it. Price is the right price, and that's what I'm doing.
Yeah. And look, I don't doubt that they'll have still people queuing up, but there's the other side where I think people are frustrated, and rightly so. So yeah, I certainly won't be going down, but That was top of my mind this week because it's been
Cool.
everywhere.
So what I'm going to do a rapid fire 3, and
Right.
then maybe come back. And to be fair, the reason why we're doing a little bit more than 5, if I just stuck to what was in the headlines, would actually be quite depressed. First one, Amazon has finally pulled the plug on its Amazon Fresh. I'm giving you the narrative of the media, and then we'll look at what Amazon's saying, because the media is saying, futuristic cashier grocery shops. You walked in, if you didn't know what the Amazon experience was, you pick up your item and then you walk out. A sort of marvel of the technology, but consumers didn't want it. And that's pretty much because the shopping mission that people were on wouldn't be served in the format of store that they had created. But for me, Amazons are the genius of invention and experimentation. And so for me, this was 4 or 5 or 6 years of experimentation to find out what works and what are the use cases that will take off. The locations that they've shut down will be, some of them will become Whole Food locations. I can imagine the one in Ealing, actually that one's already gone. But anyway, some of them will become Whole Food locations, and it's like watch this space where that will appear. In airports, coincidentally, this technology is taking off, where you just walk in and pick up your crisps and snacks and come out. So I think the way that Amazon's positioned there, rightly so, is they're retrenching back on e-commerce, because the margins in this world, and specifically in the UK right now, just doesn't lend itself to these sort of premium shopping experiences.
Yeah.
Next one is the CBI sales data. Again, quite depressing. If I was in retail, 12 months in a row of decline. So that a full year of decline, not just one bad quarter or 2 bad quarter. It's a structural malaise. And again, there'll be lots of different reasons when people look at this on why and how. But according to the Confederation of Business Industry, retailers are reporting lower volumes every single month with no real sign of turnaround. And consumers are being, I think we talked about this on one of the shows or one of the global shows, they're being, they've got wage pressures, they've got higher taxes, they've got broader economic challenges, with what's going on around the world. And ultimately, it's showing in footfall to spending for retailers who are massively discounting, having thinner the margins than normal, and having quite brutal competition from some home competition, some abroad competition. And again, sticking with this sort of doom and gloom of what's going on, Starbucks are closing. I think they've said here, I don't know if they've actually given a number, but they will shut some of their 520 UK stores. Now, Starbucks have been on the naughty list for a lot of customers for a couple of years now. And so in my mind, it's like, it makes sense if 40% of the population aren't going to be coming into a Starbucks for one reason or another, you're going to have to reset. But this to me is the broader trend that I've been speaking about for a while. Retailers are trenching in to create more experiential stores. So, the Starbucks Reserve, I can imagine these types of stores will continue to grow. And they've also, they had made a commitment, I think, of growing, 80 new stores in the UK and 150 across in EMEA. So yeah, they're going to be closing the ones that aren't making any money and opening some in areas where it's more favorable to operating conditions. Which again, another not a great example of what's really happening in retail. And when you put these 3 stories together, they sort of sketch some uncomfortable truths for the UK. And it's because the UK is in a moment of contraction, not expansion. And some of the shiny experiments regarding technologies aren't working for traditional players who are ultimately under siege from the consumer's shrinking wallet. However, we've got Christmas and the golden quarter coming up. So that will be a crucial stress test to see whether or not this trend will continue. But, consumers are looking for things to be happy about. Yeah. And so what I want to finish off is actually not doom and gloom. We'll come back. Actually, why don't we do you, and then we'll come back to some happy stuff rather than the doom and gloom stuff. So give me, what's your next one?
Yeah, not doom and gloom. One, I guess
That was a really nervous laugh, by the way.
no. I guess it's just because what I'm about to speak about, I've had mixed feelings about.
Okay.
And it was the launch of, it's funny because I've grew up calling it Primark, but I do know it's called Primark. So Primark's in-store clothing repairs pop up. They're trialing it in Manchester Market Street in partnership with The Seam, who I'm a big fan of. On one side, I'm like, would you need an in-store repairs thing if the quality was better?
Yeah.
And on the other side, I do think it's smart, and I think perhaps a bit overdue. So from now until I think it's December, customers can get simple repairs done, like popped buttons or wherever, same day, but with prices starting from just £3, which I think is crucial.
Yeah.
So you can book online. I think they take walk-ins as well. But I think what I do like is I do think that it tackles a very real problem that people do want to keep their clothes.
Yeah.
But I think either there's a stigma or sometimes repairs can just be quite expensive or hard to access for some people.
Yeah.
In the article that I was reading about, it said that 42% of people throw away clothes that they would have liked to keep, which is a big problem. Just because they couldn't get them repaired. So I do think for a brand like Primark, obviously known for being very affordable, to take this step, I think it does show a shift, and I hope that more retailers do it. But yeah, interesting. Still don't know how I feel, as I said,
yeah, I got you. Is it greenwashing? Is it not? Is it a marketing?
I know. I'm like, is this good? Is it just another thing of greenwashing? I don't know. I'd like to see more stores be doing that. I don't know whether Primark is the best example, but I do think there's something in it about making repairs.
I have talked to them for doing it. Let's just hope that it's not a one-off marketing activity.
Yeah, exactly. And it might be because again, it's between now and December. So
yeah, I got you. Did you have another one?
Yeah, I did. This is a bit doom and gloom, but I promise it'll end on something a little bit nice.
It's it will. I guarantee you'll be smiling and happy by the end of the one where we've got through.
But H&M did announce this week that they've closed 135 stores in the past 9 months, with more closures expected this quarter. I think most of them were in Asia and Africa, but 21 closures have happened in Western Europe, and that includes quite a few of not only H&M but Monkey. But I did think that this was interesting timing, that whilst the H&M group is closing stores quite rapidly, it's interesting to see that Arket, who is a part of the H&M group but is more premium, I guess, more lifestyle led, is actually set to open up a new store on King's Road in Chelsea.
Oh, cool.
It opens tomorrow. It's in a redeveloped theatre building, and it looks gorgeous. So interesting.
Yeah, I mean, they've got the fantastic. There's a really beautiful H&M store on King's Road, just at the beginning. I remember I covered it last year I think it was last year or year before. Actually, year before when it opened. It was really beautiful, and I assume it's still there, unless that's changed into an Arket. I don't know.
I think it is. I don't know.
Yeah, it's just as you come up the King opposite the Saatchi Gallery. But anyway, so I've been teasing this, good story that we're going to end on. And let me add this lovely lady to the stage and ask you which British brand, luxury brand, is using her for their marketing materials. This was her very first TikTok. And on TikTok, some of the people refer to her as Auntie, which is fantastic. And she started a trend where looking at the camera with some traffic behind her, and then over time it sort of continued to change. This was 2023 when she started her journey, and it's just basically looking at camera with things happening behind her, and it's incredible, to the point where the wonderful, can you tell which brand it is yet?
I can see.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, the volume's not on. Or does it not need to be?
Yeah, she doesn't want to live anywhere else in the world. And that brand is, ladies and gentlemen, Burberry, who were headliners at London Fashion Week. And from what the people who do know about fashion, people like Simone, not myself, they're saying that Burberry potentially has hit a bit of a turnaround. I don't know if it's a comeback story yet. Too early for me to call, because I'm one of the people that have been saying they've lost their relevance to the industry or to their shoppers, but they've pulled it out of the bag and had a phenomenal London Fashion Week. And for those who love Ab Fab, they had lots of celebrities. What's really interesting, I think, for me, this is a departure from using young, beautiful models that potentially wouldn't be able to afford. It's a younger generation that can't afford jewelry, and they've gone for maybe the people who actually can afford some of the things that they're selling. And so it's gone down really well. Get on TikTok, have a look at what was it called? Burberry Portraits. That's it. Have I got any others here that I can of UK social media stars talking about various stories? It's called Burberry Portraits. Definitely worth a little gander. And with that bombshell, how have we done on timing? We've done
through it. 17 minutes. Not too bad.
We've had we've had one person on our live all the way through. So to that one person,
we love you.
We love you. Thank you so much. And and here's the thing, they're on Twitch, right? So and we've had about 10 people pop in and pop off. Person number 2 who's just joined us via the Retail Podcast channel. Thank you so much for joining us, and we look forward to you're around next week, right? We'll be able to do this
next
again.
Week. Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. Until next week, Simone, have a lovely week.
Wonderful. Thanks, Alex.
Bye.